Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Aeon State on my Assassin Kialla. I am bringing for you today Mandalorian Raiders. For those of you free-to-players or guys who are just curious, this is to give you a heads up of what you'll be running through. I am with a bunch of randoms using Star Wars' awesome looking for group system. In the background, as you can hear, is my buddy Cal. You'll recognize him from some of the other videos that I have done, but I also have in our raid call system Shameless, also known as Izzy. You can check out their videos respectively for the user Chaotic Hippo or Shameless Soul for a more in-depth PvP based set of Star Wars The Old Republic PvP videos. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This is the chieftain of Clan Varad. Whoever you are, you've challenged the wrong ship.
Notice this, guys. As a tank, I typically don't loot. The way I do my flashpoints is I like to just run and go and let other people do it. I'll stop as we need it, but other than that, I like to keep going. Now this first pool consists mostly of just 2 strong hounds. Hounds are no problem to take down. It also features 3 Mandalorian guards who are non-elite. You guys can take care of them easily. If you are a tank, your primary focus, just handle the strongs. If you have scavenging of 100, you can activate this broken medical droid. It will give you some extra healing for approximately 10 minutes. And this pull up here is where you will encounter your first 2 elites. Wait for the path to go by, yank the others. Hey Bites, how's it going? Another one of our guildies named Bites has joined the channel, so you'll hear him as well. I'll be doing some sub 50 later for some new videos if you're interested. And by the way, you can be heard on my video that I'm making now, just as a heads up. Well, they already know you as Turk on my page, all 1 subscribers of you currently. Just so you guys know, as an assassin tank, your AoE capability of taunting is kind of diminished until later on. You do have overload, however, it's not high damaging. Later on in the assassin tree, you get what's called Wither. It's good for an initial pull. Don't spam it if you ain't got to. Wither is very force dependent, and you've got more important things to spend your energy on. Another AoE taunt you do have is discharging your dark charge, which generates a high amount of threat. And now Bites is trying to ruin my video with his music, so we will be leaving this channel. If I had known they were going to be that obnoxious, I would have left beforehand. I apologize about that, guys. just remember, any free-to-players or those of you who do not know, there are going to be plenty of mobs throughout any Flashpoint that you can skip, if you can. That's fine. A lot of people are probably going to want to skip. Sub 50, you will find a lot of people who will want to do bonuses, though. After 50, people are going to skip whatever they can. But Overload does not make for an entirely effective AoE. It does a fair amount of damage. However, the problem with it is not designed to generate a high amount of threat. So y'all can see Wither is way up here. But it does last for 15 seconds, which is fairly decent. One of the main things I always lead with when pulling trash mobs is always the discharge. I also like to use Dark Ward because my talents cause it to regenerate my force power. By the way, general good consensus loot rules need for your character first, and then if you want to need something for a companion, ask your fellow clan, either clansmen, your puggers, or whoever it is you're partying with. Things will go a lot smoother. As for pulls like this, you will see that I'm not the greatest tank right now when it comes to AoE. I have to wait for that discharge to come back up. It's not so bad for a time like this because you're just dealing with some basic strongs, and they're not that hard to deal with. The time when it can be a problem, and this comes for a fight that's later on, DPSers. If your tank is hitting somebody, go for the same target for the tank unless otherwise specified. For example, this fight right here, this is Brax the Bloodhound. I will be tanking the boss and only the boss. The DPS will be focused on his two hounds. Why? Because every so often he emits a little area of effect aura, essentially kills you from WoW, which makes his little hounds a lot stronger. I will tank him away because I don't want him making the hounds any stronger. That would be the AoE right there. Now sometimes I don't know if it's me or if it's just this guy's threat table, but he does require a lot of taunting even if nobody else is hitting him. As you can see, he was actually just taunted and he still decided to switch. One of the big things for single target AoE if you are an assassin is you using your thrash attack. Eventually you'll get that little buff right there, which in the purple, and I'll highlight it again later. What that does is it automatically renews the cooldown on your shock and increases its critical hit chance or damage. I'll have to verify later. I just got off class, so I'm halfway. So works better if you can combine it with your recklessness charge, as it adds for an even extra effect. Always remember, your Dark Ward only lasts for about 8 charges, so you need to renew it constantly. It's very good for getting, synergy-wise, getting your superpowered shock off.
You're good. We're not Mandalorians. The harder you hit us, the tougher we get.
As you can see here, this is the Energize ability. When Dark Charge is active, Thrash, Lacerate, and Assassin have a 30% chance for cooldown your shock and make it at the next one a critical hit. If it has currently been energized and you use a charge of your recklessness, it deals an additional 50% critical damage, thus making it a very effective taunting capability. Now, I know some guys are sitting there wondering, why as an assassin am I got Force Lightning in my bar? I keep that there for future reference because I've still got a ton of abilities coming in. Force Lightning is actually relying upon a talent that a tank can use as an assassin That will help with regenerating your health. That's actually in the next level of branch, which I can show you guys afterwards. Know this, I am by far not the world's expert. I am constantly learning new things. If anybody wants to see how an assassin can really be done, I encourage you to check out my buddy Shameless Soul and watch him on Asami Yami. Asami something. Let's just say some of us can't spell that many letters. He's got a long name. Typically you'll see him doing 50 PvP, but that is one guy who knows assassins. By the way, if you were a scavenger, things here range from 95 to 100, maybe 150 in scavenging. I encourage you to use this chance to scavenge if you do scavenge. So free-to-player scavenging is a great crew skill to pick up along with Cybertech. And if you're brand new to the game, I encourage you, no matter what class you are, to go Cybertech. It'll allow you to re-engineer and learn all those really high money-making mods that everybody seems to always want. I say seems to, but they do. And do not fret if you leave this thing. As an assassin, by nature, you will get force speed or a sword. However, with my legacy ability, rocket boost. And no, this will not kill you if you hit it, but it's just fun to try and jump over it. This is obviously an Arsenal merc. Some of you guys who have never played before, there was once a time when Arsenal mercs were really annoying because all they would do was shoot tracer missile, which creates these little stacks right here. And it reduces your armor. Feel free to check out the video how to play an Arsenal merc, and you'll get the idea of why people hated them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you go right down the center here, you can actually avoid these two turrets. Or, on the right hand side there, if you got a slicing capability, you can actually hack the elevator. These guys apparently do not realize they can skip. Which, that's fine, XP is XP. As you can see here, this cannon was put as being sleep. That was done by the operative. Didn't know laser cannons could actually go to sleep, which is surprising. They have what's called Sleeper Dart. It's a great crowd control ability. Yes, everybody did leave me. Somebody aggroed them. And they decided just to run. This part right here you can skip, just go off to the side. I always stealth for good measure. And then go right on up. Here it is with Harness Darkness, by the way, about the Force Lightning. Each time you do damage, you get one stack, you get 3. lighting will start healing you for 2% of your maximum health. You may or may not hear my dog whining in the background. Don't worry about her, she is not mistreated, she is well taken care of. She's just in a very, very playful mood. And the cats don't want to play with her. Now guys, with this pull, just so you remember as a tank, when you pull one, there will be 3 more mobs that'll jetpack up. See all the red dots here just mysteriously pop up. These are all weak. Got about 1200 HP. You can deal with them no problem. My favorite things to do when I'm not getting knocked back and lose my effective range is to overload. Overload in a Flashpoint can be your best friend. And if there's an explosive fuel tank, use it. It can kill 3 NPCs really quick. And that is why you do not get too close to the edge with these guys. They will knock you back and you will fall off, and you can't possibly aggro more people. As you can see now, every so often there is a glitch that's currently existing where after a knockback, even with no debuffs over here, you still won't be able to move. Do your best to bear with it. That's the debuff you're supposed to have. As you can see, when I try and run, wait a second. Just give everybody a heads up of what to expect when scavenging my plastic. No, I do not remember what each one looks like. Plasteel, grade 2 scavenged compound. You can also get grade 2 scavenged metals. Let's see if I got one in here somewhere. Yeah, there's bronzium. You can find chanlin. The primary ones I find in here are plasteel and chanlin. By the way, you can skip these turrets. Unfortunately, they did not want to skip them this time. For me, I like skipping stuff when it's not needed. The best things I have found is to keep using Thrash until your energy starts getting low, and then switch to your Saber Strike. And as soon as you get your Energize buff, use your Shock. If you're having to build up energy waiting for Shock, just constantly use Saber Strike.
Battle Team Royal, get in position.
Now,
down that
we will not be fighting these 4 guys right here, and here's why. And another one bites the dust. That's the easiest boss in the whole game. You don't even have to fight them. Because then these nice little Republic NPCs come in. You have your Jedi Sentinel, you have your Jedi Sage, you have your Vanguard, and then you have your Gunslinger, which is their equivalent. These two are going to be a lot of DPS, and they are a lot easier to crowd control. This fight has a very, very funny AoE table. This guy will use a lot of ranged attacks, and this one right here will constantly jump everywhere. Think of it like a Rage Spec Marauder. always good when you focus fire. So he'll be CCing Star. Because if you don't focus fire, these guys will eventually wear and whittle you down. As you can see here, this guy has about almost 21k HP. Almost 21k. Just verifying, making sure they're the same. Yeah, they're all around 21k. Usually one of those two are the ones to be CC'd. However, we have somebody who is insisting upon using an AoE, and it breaks CC. Of course, we had somebody else with the CC available. This, I typically won't use guard until it's absolutely needed, and in this case I will use it on the healer because this AoE fight is really funky. Just so I could show you, Electrocute will not work, or did not work on this Zera line. It does work on these other two up here still on the podium. Each party member seems to have their own little funky what CCs they're immune to and which ones are not. Yes, I do have Lacerate down here, but for all you would-be assassins, for 40 force and that much AoE damage, you're a lot better off just using your Overload. At least you get the added knockback. Sometimes Overload will not work on these guys, sometimes it will. For example, I can still electrocute this guy, whereas it would not allow me to electrocute the other guy. Whether it's PvP or fighting a Republic Trooper NPC, if you see that little red area, move. Typically an AoE is incoming. I don't like wasting my own med packs in a Flashpoint, but every so often I have to do it.
This might be a decent fight after all.
Lower robe of Dark Delirium. Now, in most cases, I will wait and see if somebody else have it if I have something equivalent. I had already won this in a previous one, however I took all the mods out to put it in my other set. One thing I will do, I will look and see if there is a major upgrade somewhere. For example, if I got one spot that has all 3 openings, I do need it. If it's only 2, I will not take it. And as you did see in this case, I did wait for everybody and see what they had rolled. Had somebody else rolled need, I would not have rolled on those. That's generally just friendly loot rules. Now, I can put all items to use in said item. However, I don't wear robes. I wear my chaps. As a tank, I do want to focus on trying to keep my endurance up a fair amount, simply because I am a tank, and I got way too close to death. Now down here is another fight that you can pass. I almost got too close to them. Unfortunately, my two other guys here decided to pass. Now, some of you may have seen that big blue blinking computer behind me. Yes, we will be interacting with that shortly. I will go ahead and warn you now, I will be spacebaring through the whole thing, so as not to do with any spoilers. However, if you do not want to know what the options are, please turn off your fraps, or well, this video now, or please fast forward to a soon and upcoming point. You may fast forward to the boss fight if you would like. The boss fight is what is next. But this is the only light side, dark side option that you have available for this Flashpoint. To those who have stayed, essentially you have your dark side to take out the engineers or your light side to capture the engineers. I am primarily light side unless every so often I need to force choke somebody. Therefore I will choose capture. As you can see in this case, the light side
adventure is about to end. Come on, I'm waiting for you.
To those of you who are just tuning back in because they did not want to spoil the story of that section, we'll be finishing up this fight. There are about 2 more trash pulls before the boss. And this Flashpoint is done. That guy's flamethrower reminded me. I've been leveling so fast I forgot to put this over here. That is one of my legacy abilities since I have a level 50 bounty hunter. It is the legacy flamethrower. It is more powerful than the normal version of flamethrower, however it is only usable while I am using my heroic moment. Why do I have that? Because it does change your tide of battle in a tough situation. I have used it on several characters and it is nice. In a later video, I will actually sit down and discuss some of the different legacy options that will be available. So, for all of you who are not aware of some of them, you may have them. Matter of fact, I'm going to make that my next video as soon as I finish this boss fight. By the way, this guy right here is technically undercover. Most of the time, they will not allow me to overload him off. Sometimes it's glitched and it'll allow me to do it. But as you can see, that is a bottomless pit, essentially, as I call them. Or you can just, or if you want to call it what it is, send them into the atmosphere. By the way, yes, I do know I have no relics sometimes, and some people will attest to this. You just level so fast, you just don't even think about some things. For example, I didn't even have the implants until about 2 levels ago. So when you're just so awesome. No, not necessarily when you're being awesome, but guys, if you're subbed and you've got the legacy perks that'll increase your experience gain, things like that do happen. So if you ever inspect somebody and they're around my level and they don't have any implants, don't insult them, because odds are they'll kick your butt in a PvP match. Now this fight can be a slight war of attrition. The way this boss fight works is we will start fighting.
But this ship belongs to Clan Varad.
Unfortunately, it doesn't give me enough time to explain. But the way this fight works, he does a lot of jumping around. You'll DPS him down to about 75%, maybe a little bit higher than that. What in the world? Ah, yeah. That's a common glitch. Whenever he jumps like this, he will jump to one of three of the 4 corners at one given point. Take down the turrets, because they can hit you from across the map and add extra strain. Do not worry so much about trying to take down the boss. He's not going anywhere. He doesn't do a lot of damage. Get the turrets. It'll be easier on your tank. It'll be easier on your healer. As you can see, he has already jumped again because they are continuously trying to DPS him down. Because of that, you have 2 more turrets that have activated, and they are reaching me, as you can see. When he gets down to about 50%, he will make his next jump. He will only go to 3 of the corners. He will not go to all 4. On his last jump, he'll actually go to the center, which point it goes straight back to Tank and Spank. This boss, whenever you see the red circles underneath you, make sure you move, because he's getting ready to launch a missile. Some people may not think too much about it, and it really doesn't hurt that much, but it adds up over time. Make it easier on your healers. As you can see the glitch, he jumped over here. And I'm currently waiting to see if he jumped back. Apparently this time he didn't. The jump did go off, but he jumped back due to this glitch, and the turrets did activate. Very rarely do you see me actually use Maul unless I'm using it as an opener in PvP, or if I'm using it as an opener pulling a mob. A single mob. If I got more than one in a mob, they're getting discharged. As you can see now, he has almost no life left, which means he has just become our personal play toy.
This is a good death. I'll see you.
Thank you for watching, guys. I will not be showing you the end in an effort to help prevent the storyline. I will at least let you see what kind of loot will drop. As you can see here, a nice little blaster rifle. And you've also got these gloves of Dark Delirium. This has been a great day for Inquisitors everywhere. Completed my daily. Past that. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all have a nice day.